The chilling recorded threat that haunted California for decades came from Joseph James DeAngelo, the Golden State Killer who committed 13 murders and numerous rapes and burglaries across California between 1974 and 1986. On April 24, 2018, after 40 years of terror, the 72-year-old former police officer was finally arrested, but only after DNA technology caught the ghost who had vanished without a trace. 5 months after DeAngelo's first recorded threat, the quiet neighborhoods of Sacramento County became hunting grounds for a predator who would transform the entire region. DeAngelo moved to the Sacramento area in 1976, where his crimes escalated from burglary to rape, initially centering on the then unincorporated areas of Carmichael, Citrus Heights, and Rancho Cordova, east of Sacramento. People would leave their doors unlocked, their windows open. But when DeAngelo started committing his crimes, everybody started locking their doors. The peace of what had been a trusting community shattered. Sacramento County transformed from a place where neighbors trusted each other to a region gripped by fear. DeAngelo's method was methodical terror. He would ambush girls as young as 13 years old, blinding them with light, binding their hands, then raping them. On December 18, 1976, he demonstrated the calculated cruelty that would define his attacks. DeAngelo entered the home of 15-year-old Chris Pedretti, who was home alone while her parents were at a Christmas party. At 6 p.m., as she played the piano, DeAngelo, wearing a ski mask, put a knife to her throat and said, "Do what I say, or I'll kill you and be gone in the dark." For more than 2 hours, he raped her 3 times. According to Pedretti, he alternated leaving me outside, naked in the winter cold, and bringing me in different rooms where he raped me. But DeAngelo's true psychological sadism emerged when he began targeting couples. In the cover of darkness, he preyed on people in Carmichael, Citrus Heights, and Rancho Cordova. While raping the women, he would psychologically torture their husbands, tying them up and placing dishes on their backs, threatening them not to move. He would separate the couple, stacking dishes on the man's back and threatening to kill everyone in the house if he heard them rattle. Then he would move the woman to the living room and rape her repeatedly. The dishes became his signature calling card, a method of psychological control that left husbands helpless while their wives were brutalized mere feet away. DeAngelo sometimes spent hours in the home ransacking closets and drawers, eating food in the kitchen, drinking beer, raping the woman again, or making additional threats. He stole wedding rings and photo IDs, leaving behind only terror and violation. What made DeAngelo particularly terrifying was his ghost-like ability to vanish without a trace. He was meticulous in his preparation, often stalking victims for days before striking. He would break into their homes to leave twine, which he would later use to tie up his victims and unlock windows for his return. Victims sometimes thought he had left the house before he jumped from the darkness. The East Area Rapist's reign of terror escalated rapidly. Over the next 2 years, he was linked to 38 attacks in the Sacramento and Stockton areas. But DeAngelo's evolution from rapist to killer marked a chilling progression. His early victims in the Sacramento area lived. When he moved to Southern California and became known as the original Night Stalker, he killed everyone, leaving no survivors. This transformation from the East Area Rapist who left victims alive to the original Night Stalker who murdered entire families cemented DeAngelo's place as one of California's most prolific serial predators. He committed more than 50 known rapes across Sacramento, Contra Costa, Stanislaus, San Joaquin, Alameda, Santa Clara, and Yolo counties. He was linked to hundreds of incidents of thefts, burglaries, vandalism, peeping, stalking, and prowling. Across 11 counties, DeAngelo had created a trail of trauma that would haunt California for decades, until DNA technology finally gave investigators the breakthrough they needed to unmask the ghost who had terrorized an entire state. After hearing about DeAngelo's calculated method of placing dishes on husbands' backs while he terrorized their wives, do you think his police training gave him an advantage in psychological manipulation? Drop your answer in the comments below. But DeAngelo's reign of terror was just beginning to evolve. 4 decades after his first recorded threat, the ghost who had terrorized California was finally unmasked, not by traditional detective work, but by the very technology that didn't exist when his crime spree began: On April 24, 2018, California authorities arrested 72-year-old Joseph DeAngelo at his Citrus Heights home. In April 2018, after decades of fear, frustration, and unanswered questions, investigators finally arrested Joseph James DeAngelo, the man known as the Golden State Killer. The breakthrough came through a revolutionary technique called forensic genetic genealogy. Investigators uploaded DNA from a crime scene to the genealogy database GEDmatch, where distant relatives of the suspect were identified. Working alongside genealogist Barbara Ray Venner, detectives built dozens of family trees involving thousands of people. By comparing ages, locations, and other clues, they gradually eliminated suspects until only DeAngelo remained. To confirm their suspicions, investigators conducted covert surveillance. DNA was secretly collected from the door handle of DeAngelo's car and from a tissue discarded in his garbage. Both samples matched DNA connected to the Golden State Killer crimes. The arrest became a landmark moment in criminal justice history, marking the first major public arrest achieved through genetic genealogy. When authorities arrested DeAngelo, he appeared to be a frail retired mechanic, living quietly in a California suburb. However, prosecutors soon realized that this image was misleading. Surveillance footage from jail showed him walking slowly with a cane, only to abandon it and move normally once he thought no one was watching. Prosecutors believed he was continuing the manipulation and deception that had characterized his crimes for decades. Even after his arrest, DeAngelo displayed troubling behavior. During processing, he injured himself by repeatedly striking his head against a wall, raising concerns that he might attempt self-harm. Investigators and prosecutors remain focused on ensuring that the victims would finally receive justice. On June 29, 2020, DeAngelo pleaded guilty to 13 counts of first-degree murder. As part of the plea agreement, he also admitted to numerous additional crimes, including rapes that could no longer be prosecuted because of legal limitations. In exchange for his guilty plea, prosecutors agreed not to seek the death penalty. The deal guaranteed that he would spend the rest of his life in prison without the possibility of parole. The sentencing hearings in August 2020 became an emotional reckoning decades in the making. Survivors, family members, and loved ones of murder victims confronted DeAngelo in court, describing the lasting trauma, grief, and fear his crimes had caused. Their testimonies transformed the hearing into a powerful moment of accountability and closure. One victim, known as Phyllis, held particular significance. She was DeAngelo's first known sexual assault victim in Sacramento and had attended court proceedings throughout the case despite battling cancer. On sentencing day, she appeared in court and was finally able to witness justice being served. Prosecutors later described her presence as one of the strongest reasons they supported the plea deal, believing many victims might never have seen a conclusion if the case had gone through years of death penalty appeals. After more than 40 years, one of America's most notorious serial offenders was finally held accountable for his crimes.